I acknowledge that I made a mistake. And this is the spiritual journey.
You are arguably the most prominent Islamic scholar in Europe, maybe even the Western world. Since then, however, you've been accused by several women of rape. You've been detained. You've been put in solitary confinement. All the while, you've refrained from speaking to the media. Why have you chosen to talk now?
Look, the situation was bad, and for 2 years I was under media coverage, which was very bad, and it was almost a media lynching, and especially in France. And then now, after 2 years, while all the facts and what we have, the investigations are quite clear, that my case, it's empty, and my lawyer is quite clear about this, that she said I was a Salafi, very naive as to sexuality. As far as sexuality is concerned, you come to this in 2002 until recently. She had on Skype more than 50 relationships, exchanges with men during all this period.
But that doesn't necessarily mean...
I made one mistake, which was to say, I'm not going to talk about my private life. So when they said, what happened with this woman, I denied that anything happened. And this was a mistake. Because I wanted to protect myself, to protect my family, and just, there is one thing that when you are talking about rape, another thing to talk about your private life. So I had weaknesses, I had contradiction with my own life, and when I went there, I decided under this, this flood of all this bad and dirty coverage, that I'm going to talk about this. So this was a mistake, but it's understandable. We can't put at the same level this, trying to protect myself with people lying about being raped and all what happened there. It's you the problem, is the far-right party, is this normalization of Islamophobia and structural racism targeting the Muslims.
You have had a following of tens of thousands of young Muslims, even maybe hundreds of thousands across the world. There have been reports that you've admitted to having extramarital relations. What's your message to those people who maybe have felt a bit disenfranchised or confused when they've been seeing these different reports about you? What is it?
I acknowledge that I made a mistake. And this is the spiritual journey that I went through, which at the end, it's strange, but I have to say it as it is. I'm thanking God for this test and this ordeal, because He brings me back to myself. So I went inward. I went through examination of conscience just to try to understand what happened. I apologized to my wife, to my kids, to the people